Well, it's that time again.
It's Karl's diary.
Oh, what's he written today?
Told Suzanne that I had read that we will have spoken to aliens by the year 2025. Ricky once told me that if a lion could speak English, it still couldn't have a good chat with us because its life is different to ours. If that's true, we've got no chance with an alien. I'd be worried that an alien could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago, when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog.
That's amazing.
So, firstly, how did you know she was a mind-reading woman?
Everybody who came in having cassettes done, you'd find out about what the job is. So, you know, if it's a band or whatever, it might be a police station needing blank cassettes to interview people.
Yeah.
And she had them to sort of use during a thing where they do mind reading and stuff. So you get a
recording of
it.
Yeah.
And she was just there and she was staring at me like that, just looking over. And a dog was sort of looking worried, and they pick up vibes, don't they?
No.
They do.
And why was...
Were they looking... I'm not being funny. Were they looking at the roundness of your head, do you think?
No, they were just looking at me, and I was sort of panicking a bit. And the more that I was thinking she's reading my mind, I was thinking she knows that I know that she's reading my mind. So I just stopped thinking about her reading my mind, thought about the dog.
What were you thinking about the dog?
Just running about on the beach.
He remembers what he was thinking.
No, just so she thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not his mind, it's the dog's mind I'm picking up.
Oh, so you thought she'd go, oh no, I'm getting it all tangled up. I've got a cross line here.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No! What do you mean?
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, innit, than your hands. Innit?
Now then, would you walk... How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Karl, so that you could walk... So you're basically walking forwards?
I reckon I'd walk sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
Oh, God! He solved it again!
He's thought it through.
Oh.
Got home and read my magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news, that was in a proper newspaper in the end.
It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look all right if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders, cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men, what are you talking about?
Look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff going about?
It's all these powers.
But how could we use them? How could we harness them?
I just told you, dustbin men. Or whatever that...
No,
what
you
do mean?
said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket...
It's just that we always use insects for, like, a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, "Did I tell you about the immune system?" Suzanne started laughing. I said, "It's amazing." She said, "Not now."
Oh, God! I was thinking that!
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Karl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God! Oh, fucking hell!
44 by on that one. Rolling. Action!
हमें मालूम है हाय कि बारे में कायदा कानून नहीं है पुलिस इसके बारे में कई कार आई है
अरे स्कॉटलैंड यार्ड की पुलिस से कम नहीं ना है बिहार पुलिस
Scotland Yard?
क्या
Hamco Malumi, who I hate. Ki Bahami. Jungle Raj Shelter Ha. Kahi political leaders ka. Bayan Hamam past.
Rolling.
Bye, take one.
Action.
Hey, Connie.
ये वही काले पांडे हैं ना जिसने आईएएस की बीवी का रेप किया
I
था?
laughed, I just laughed. Sorry about that. It was good delivery. That was good. Hey, Connie. Hey, Connie. Sorry, I'll do it again. Right, go on. Do it this time.
Hey, Connie.
Action.
Oh, sicko. Yeah, Connie.
ये वही काले पांडे हैं ना? What are you laughing?
I'll go. Sorry.
You gotta be right now.
Yeah, I know, he's just been
Relax
battered.
him.
I know, it's
He's
just...
teasing me.
Take one. Action.
Yeah, Connie.
ये वही काले पांडे हैं ना जिसने आईएएस की बीवी का रेप किया था?
Can you just get a single on him? Just have the camera on him when he says yippee.
Hey, answer.
See your head a little bit. We want to get the noise, the microphone there. Right, ready? Hold on.
Good. So you're just doing it?
Hold on. Now, it's in position. What if it... Oh. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, God, it... Oh, no!
Oh, it's like Jackass.
Did it hurt?
Did that hit me?
What do you mean, did it hit you?
I sort of just...
It went off course, did it? Just glanced at it.
Right, Lindauer, you're going to send us 8 more bottles, please,
Yeah,
because we're going to get this right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Oh.
Did it with his feet.
Go on.
Well, it's just, why pick the most hardest job to do when you haven't got any hands? Crush grapes. Or... Do you know what I mean? That annoys me.
Oh, crushed grapes. Imagine him being told that.
They're two different people. This is what I'm telling you.
But this is the problem, they're going to crop up quite a lot just because they've got double a chance. Alright?
Oh, please don't write in and complain.
So, followed it round and see it having it away. Turns out, little prostitute.
Oh, God.
It's a little monkey prostitute.
It was getting fatter because it was charging them bananas.
What a load of old rubbish.
It's charging them bananas. What was it? A boy or... It was a...
Woman. Little woman monkey.
Well,
The bit I haven't told you about is it's actually run by a couple of chimps.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God, you're a maniac. Oh, for Christ. Oh.
let's just...
That's like coming a chip.
Let's
Of
just...
course it's not.
No, it is, because think about it, right?
No, not think about it. What do you mean, yes, it is? Of course it's not run by a couple of chimps. What do they do, get a loan? What would you do?
I've always wanted to kick a duck up the arse. It was a chimp. They weren't happy about it.
Of course not.
Because now the owner of the chimp wants to enter it into the Tour de France.
No! Oh, God! I'm gonna die! Oh, God!
In 2005.
Now, a couple of questions. I trust you'll be able to answer these.
Oh, God! Steve, help me out. Right.
So the monkey enjoyed it, and he was like, "Well, I want to do it again." Right? But they were like,
So how did they know that? How did they know he wanted to do it?
just the way it looked and what have you. It was like,
Fuck off! Just the way it looked!
So-
You are a maniac.
so the thing is, though, right? It's a bit weird. So I just got out of the car to look at a bright light, and I got back in the car and I grew a beard, and she said, "Never mind your beard, where have you been for 3 days?" And what had happened is...
He passed out because he was pissed.
No. The UFO had taken him for 3 days. Different people.
Is this all the information? Is that the entire story?
It was 3 different people.
Did you fall
hassling
asleep
him
and not read the
about
end?
A fire that didn't happen, about a wife that didn't exist, and a cat that didn't look happy.
Oh, I'm gonna have a heart attack, Carl.
It's a popular
You,
thing.
you mean the kids that are born hairy?
No, there's kids who've been born hairy, right?
Yeah, that's it.
No, but listen, and they walk around on all fours, and they drink milk from a saucer.
Oh, Steve, this is
No,
too
remember.
easy.
Physics.
Yeah.
It was going on about the nuclear bomb and how powerful it is, and they put a manhole cover on top of one.
Okay.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
Never saw the manhole cover again.
Man alive, Carl.
Unexplained.
What's going on there? Something weird is happening there.
The fact is what matters.
Yeah, but with that question, that's got a straightforward answer. What I'm telling you is the way that animals work. If it's a potato or a nut, it's a foodage.
And once again, I return you to my question as before. What's your point? What point were you making?
The lad with 2 heads got run over. That's it.
What? How is that Cheeky Freak of the Week?
Just because it got my interest, and I kind of thought, why didn't he just look both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you...
wasn't he looking both ways?
I'm intrigued to know how you get run over. What was it, 1629?
Yeah. Well, it's horses and that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, why wasn't he looking both ways? Carl Pilkington, you are a genius.
do a typical day in the life of Karl Pilkington.
So, for my first question is, what time does Suzanne have to wake up? Does that annoy you? Does she have to get up earlier than you?
Because she's got a proper job.
The alarm goes off.
What time?
About 7.
That seems early.
Yeah, but I'm used to it now.
Okay.
At the
Now, you
moment,
spring out of bed, make her a cup of tea, do you?
no.
Right.
I let her get up, mess about.
By mess about, you mean get ready for work?
Yeah.
Right.
She's not being quiet, so I'm awake now. Right.
What do you mean she's not being quiet?
Well, she's just banging about, like I say, heavy-handed. I don't know how she does it. It's just doors and stuff. Everything seems like the Hulk's in the house. Bounding about. Just don't be heavy-handed with it. When even like pulling the curtains shut and stuff, because it's not her who has to fix it. Do you know what I mean? When she's yanking at them and pulling them open, it's like just pull them like that. I've put them on a nice rail. Just pull them slowly like that.
Right.
It's things like that. I think the problem is most of the day I'm on my own.
Right.
Right? I'm doing DIY at home. I'm quite happy. No one's there annoying me.
Right.
I go for my lunch later than everyone else, so I don't have to see people.
He's like Quasimodo, isn't he? He's like coming down when everyone else is not there.
When no one's around. Suzanne!
No, but then that's the problem. Suzanne then comes home. She's been sort of with people, so she comes in with loads of energy, and I'm going, just slow down. Stop going on. Then she's breaking stuff, and that's probably the last thing.
She's breaking?
She's heavy-handed with all the stuff I've been fixing. She broke the shutters. What else did she break?
Well, you could have done a good job.
I did do a good job.
Shutters? Where do you live? In the Old West?
What do you mean the shutters?
Some shutters on a window. She heavy-handed with them.
I don't want them to see me. What a mum.
So what else has she broken?
She's always breaking stuff. The light switch outside. Heavy-handed. She forces things. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it or how hard you pull it. Just tell me if it doesn't work and I'll sort it. That's what I do these days. I'm like a caretaker to Suzanne's house. I'm wandering around replacing stuff that she's fucked up. Do you know the other week when I came up with like a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that?
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is people live till 78. I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach, like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory. It wasn't an idea. It was the ramblings of a mental case.
You're saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." Just saying. If that's a no, right? I've been thinking.
It is a no.
What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah,
go on.
Somehow, I don't know how.
A kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child that gives birth to an old man.
No. What I'm saying is, right?
Go on.
Work the other way round.
Come on, then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes. So when he hands it into the Nobel people, and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
So what happens?
She sort of wakes up,
amazing,
right? And she works the other way. So, like, she might be 77.
Yep.
And then she'll have a birthday, she's 76. And she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got...
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said. This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory.
This is it. Let me just tell you the ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die, at the age of...
78.
9 months...
What?
At the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of 9 months?
You're not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no fear.
So you missed out a bit here. So this woman, what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years. Then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, we'll forget all that bit.
Forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So she died and she doesn't remember all her... This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys, now? Should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that alright? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
Other emails. We've had a lot of questions about time travel. People are fascinated about your approach to time travel, and I know we've talked about this in the past, but this is a very specific time travel question. If you had a time machine, Karl, to what event in your childhood would you travel back to, and why?
What's the point in going back to things that you thought... No, it's just that it's never as good, is it? It's like a place you go on holiday, and you go back thinking it'll be as good as the first time. It never is. So I don't believe in going back to places.
What do you understand the question as? Do you think they're asking, would you go back like a ghost and spy? Would you go back and you've got your childhood back? You are that child again. You're in the body. You are the child. Or you've got your adult head and experiences on. You know,
Rick, I really don't think Karl was thinking there was any of those variations. No, let's be honest. But now that you've flagged them up,
I think he was thinking of him as he is now in school with a cap on.
yeah.
But
too big for the chairs.
yeah. Come on.
No, I don't think I would go back. It's all happened now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an email for our own amusement.
Well, okay.
Choose an event. Okay, forget the time travel thing.
No, hang on. I think let's clarify one of Ricky's points. What if you could go back and you could live that moment again? How would you do it differently?
There's been times where I've gone, oh, that was a bit out of order or whatever. But then you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So I don't want to go back and change stuff because it's like that thing that they go on about, innit, where they blame the butterfly on an earthquake. You know, it's going to happen. If it wasn't that butterfly, it's another one. So why pass the buck, is what I'm saying.
So you've got no regrets. There's nothing in your past you'd want to change or do differently?
What about if you went back and you spied like a ghost on something? You couldn't change anything, but you could have a look at someone and just sort of look like like Ebenezer Scrooge does with the Ghost of Christmas Past. He goes back and he's sort of like looking at himself dancing and stuff. What would you do? What would you go back and have a look at?
Yeah, but you're asking me to change. I don't want to change.
You're not changing, you're just observing.
It's impossible.
All right,
this question, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have to do this. It's impossible.
Right, yeah, I nearly died once, didn't I, on an ice pop.
Right.
Right. Now, maybe if I would have died, I'd say, well, let's go back to that, and I won't have an ice pop.
You wouldn't be doing the podcast if you'd have died. You wouldn't be having this email put to you. What are you
That's absurd.
About?
You're now saying you're rewriting history and then going back to change it.
Yeah.
There's no need. You didn't die.
And we've changed it. You can't change anything. You're just going to go back and watch something. Would you like to go back and watch yourself choking on a Mr. Freeze?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't go back now, because I'm all right. I haven't had one since. I've learnt a lesson. I'm not missing them ice pops. So
I don't think you're making the most of this opportunity to fantasise.
I don't see the point in going back in anything. I mean, do you mean go back in time to the point of you can see, like, Rome in its working day?
What, in your childhood? Was Rome about when in your childhood? Were there gladiators in your childhood?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everything I've been through, so why see it again?
Forget it. It was just a nice little question.
I mean, that shows the lack of imagination in Karl Pilkington. Your mind can't fathom something unless it's, like, you know, got two heads.
But I don't see the point in doing something twice. Because the thing is, say if there's one good moment when I was about 6 that I loved, I'd then have to go through all the other 20 years. Again.
Well, why? Why have you imposed that? It's a fantasy. Make up.
You could go back and come back again.
Yeah, whiz back and fast forward 35 years.
Nah.
Brilliant. No. Like it was on offer. Like this was really on offer. Move on.
Hey there. Welcome to the Drawing Codex. In this video, I want to do a simple drawing lesson covering one thing. How do we draw the figure from different angles? How do we draw it from above, from below, etc.? This is one of the biggest challenges that faces the artist at the outset, and even when you're well into your artistic journey, it can be a real stumbling block. And what I want to do is give you a few really, really simple exercises and ways to think about this so that you can practice. Now, obviously, this is something that relies on a lot of foundational perspective, and there's a lot of moving parts here, but I think there's a couple of key concepts that you can apply straight away, even if you haven't fully fleshed out your drawing foundation, even if your perspective is not 100%. I think there's a lot of things that you can take away and start practicing to make sure that your figures look as if they're grounded. Anyway, let's jump in and get started. Alright, welcome again to the Drawing Codex. My name's Tim McBurney. I've been a professional working artist for over 20 years, and on this channel we're all about drawing cool stuff from our imagination, embracing the challenge of drawing, and mastering the craft of line and color illustration. If you want to learn more about line and color illustration, you can check out my free Quick Start Guide. It gives you my basic advice for how to get up and running quickly in Photoshop with a line and color style. I go over how to build a simple, reliable process in Photoshop, and I give you my tips for going from thumbnail to the finished image. I also give you all the brushes and all the basic stuff you need to get up and started with the line and color style. This is where we create worlds with simple line and color. So it's not like there's a lack of information on these ideas of how to draw the figure from different angles. The basic idea, as should be pretty obvious, is that we combine the simple idea of taking a mannequin, of taking a stick figure, and then we basically just rotate it in space. The problem is that's easier said than done, and it's hard to know how to approach it. In the same way, you can read Andrew Loomis's book, Figure Drawing for All It's Worth, which is great, and it has a lot of information there, but again, I think the challenge for me when I was figuring out how to do a lot of this is, what do I start with, and how do I actually make that apply not just to the standard human anatomy, but maybe how do we make it apply to more cartoony things as well? I think what I want to do is, again, try those two dual concepts. One is, again, how do we draw the standard mannequin, but also maybe something a lot more cartoony may also help us to understand how this functions, so I can demonstrate that to you. But basically what I want to try and do is give you a simple exercise that you can go away and either follow along with me or take with you and just practice in your sketchbook as you go. Now, this is one of those concepts that I think is really important. And when I was starting out, again, I'd have ideas and they'd often be stifled by the fact that I couldn't draw characters from all sorts of different angles. And it took me a long time to really figure out, how to do that. But I think it's important to note that often when we are drawing things that, you don't always have to draw things from crazy angles. Not everything has to be some ridiculous, amazing angle, where you're drawing stuff from a crazy, sort of action pose where there's a million characters. You can see, right, like this panel here is a little bit like that. There's tons of characters, they're all fighting. Camera's low. That's important. That's a little bit different to what I want to do. And again, in this exercise, because in order to do that, you kind of have to begin with the basics. You sort of have to really, really understand the simple way that perspective and boxes and box sort of logic or theory relates to the figure. And this is actually a really good way, just practicing drawing that mannequin and that figure from different angles. It's a really good way to understand the concepts of proportion and structure and just how you actually go about building something that kind of looks solid but is viewed from an angle that is maybe more interesting or exciting. Anyway, I don't want to go on for too long because I think you get the basic idea of where we're going with this. Let's jump over to the drawing table and get started. All right, here we are at the drawing table. Now, as I said, in most cases when you're drawing comics, you are working within a fairly limited framework of poses and things that you need to create, that you need to kind of make real from your imagination or from the script. In most cases, I think what you'll find is that you don't always have to draw a lot of these heavy down angle shots, right? It just doesn't often make sense. When you do, it's really, really important. But if we think about often, if I take the basic idea of creating a Loomis stick figure mannequin, And if you're new to the channel and you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, there's a lot of other videos that I have on the channel talking about the concepts of creating a mannequin and drawing solidly. And I'll link to a few of the basic ones in the description. So check that out if you might get a little bit lost with exactly what I'm talking about here. But the basic idea, as you may know if you've looked at these concepts before, is that we basically just draw a stick figure. Now, you can think about the basic idea here being that maybe you might have a panel where there's a few characters, right, and they're talking. So there's lots of situations where you might want to frame a panel or an illustration or whatever you want to do, right? You might have lots of reasons. So again, I'm just kind of winging this a little bit, not being that technical with it, just for illustrative purposes. All right, but again, you might have some people talking to each other in a panel, and you need to do this kind of down shot. Now, that's useful, but in my experience, most of the time what you want to do is see faces and make sure that the posing is sort of clear. And this is quite a disassociated shot, and you may have a lot of stories and a lot of ideas that involve this basic concept of, hey, we're looking down at a scene. All right, again, there might be more characters over here. All right, again, just roughly transferring, all right, some of those ideas. Oh, that one's getting a little bit out of whack. But again, you know, there might be a whole crowd full of people, right? And now, if you don't know what you're doing, this type of scene is just an absolute unmitigated nightmare to execute on. So it is really, really important to kind of understand your basic perspective and all of that stuff. It'll really, really make your life a lot easier, and it'll make these kind of things a lot more fun. In most cases, though, I do want to point out, because I think it is super important to remember that in most cases, we're just dealing with minor variations, with minor tilts. So, and this is just my experience, but again, this is just practical advice if you're thinking about this. Often this is the thing that terrifies me, right? I wake up in a cold sweat as a young artist, sort of thinking about, please don't make me draw this kind of scene because it's just too hard. But what I found in most cases is that, yeah, there's a couple of things, right? You can see this scene is a little bit like that. We've got a few characters kind of from above. But the idea of having to draw extensive scenes where, you know, there's all these sort of dynamic angles, maybe in superhero comics there might be a little bit more of that. But in most cases we're dealing with looking at faces and fairly simple shots, which is very, very similar to what you would look at in a film. We're often choosing shots for clarity so we can read the character's face. Again, in comics or similarly in an illustration, you kind of want to see the character's face. You want to see them fairly straight on. And I think in most cases, this sort of thing is not actually what you spend most of your time doing. And certainly if you're doing illustrations, primarily often what we're talking about from a compositional standpoint is, it's frequently involving characters who are pretty front on. You know, if you deal with your classic sort of pin-up character, right, it basically is some form of this. Now, it might involve a lot of twisting of the figure, but not a lot of this need to make it grounded and draw it from different angles. But I feel like this idea of just learning how do we draw the figure like this, and then how do we do the opposite of that, which is draw it from below, right? Go here, same stick figure idea, boom, boom. Got a head there. right? And then we're going to have arm here, right? Something like this. And again, you can continue the basic concept as you go, right? If we want to do that from the back, very, very simple, right? We just sort of flip the character around, right? And then we're drawing this. So I'm just going to be putting in rough perspective to illustrate what I need, and this is typically what I would do for myself. And I'm just illustrating the different options here. So we will get to some actual exercises, and I'll talk specifically about what I'm doing and how you can pull some concepts from books like the Loomis books or other sort of how to draw books and sort of actually try and get your head around this basic concept. But again, you know, we do it from the back. It's the same thing. All right. So here, the face is like this. All right, here it's from the back. And the difference really is just what does that arc of the spine look like, and how do these limbs tend to bend, right, as a very sort of rough basic idea. So again, these are a little bit from above and, you know, below. These ones are a little bit more. The basic concept is the same. Again, the reason that you would have you know, some need to draw like a really kind of worm's eye view of something like this, I don't know why you would need to do that, but say you did. Again, it's going to be a very similar concept, right? Feet are going to be on the ground, shoulders are going to be somewhere here, right? Head is going to be up there. We're going to have some arms here. Right. So again, sorry that guy's got a little bit squished, but again, it's the same idea. It's just a matter of how much exaggeration is there on this perspective grid, if that makes sense. Let's see if we can do better on that head. All right. See if we can find the form of that torso a little bit. Head goes there. Yeah, might look, that's a little bit better. But it's all the same idea. What we're doing is we're taking the basic concept of a skeleton or a mannequin or a stick figure, and we're just drawing it from different angles. As I said, the problem is that's its own challenge, and that really is what I want to talk about in this lesson and show you is how do we combine the concepts of box logic or drawing simple geoforms, which again is very, very much linked to this, and how do we find some exercises and things you can do so you can jump in and start practicing this. Alright, so if we look at the pages that you might find in a traditional drawing book that are going to be related to this concept, it's often at the beginning, and it's where we link up concepts of perspective. So you can see here some great illustrations of how the concepts of proportion and perspective and just lining things up are going to work in 3 dimensions. So this is really what we're dealing with, is the idea that if we understand the basic proportions of the mannequin, which you can find in some of the additional videos I've got that I'll link below so you can check those out. But again, I'll go over them super quickly in this video so you can just jump in if you need. And then it's just simply a matter of understanding how perspective works. A lot of it does involve this simple concept of thinking of a plane and how we derive some simple proportion from that plane. Alright, so the task is pretty simple. What we need to do and what is good to practice is just practice drawing space or a line that your character is going to occupy. And what we want to do is find these proportional markers. The one that I think is the most important to find, and the one that you can practice finding, is the halfway mark. And that essentially is going to divide the character around about the bottom of the pelvis or at the crotch area. This will also line up with the base of the hand And this is a really, really important marker because, again, it basically divides the legs from the top of the figure. And this really is one of the major things that you're trying to do. So what you can practice doing is drawing that character in 2 dimensions. And then you can practice drawing them in 3 dimensions. Now, once you get a feel for the proportional division, it's a lot easier to add dimension. So if we, and again, I'm just going to be fairly rough with this, so apologies if some of these lines don't match up. I won't do this with a ruler because it's a little bit easier to just kind of see when we're doing it by hand, but some of these lines might not match up. The more accurate you can be with this, the better, and I'd say if you study your basic perspective with a ruler, it'll really help you to make sure you're not making errors based on simple errors of the hand, let's say. But either way, it's important to understand how accurate you need to be with these lines. So even if you're not using a ruler, you have to understand how likely are you to gauge proportion in 2 dimensions. If you're having trouble doing it in 2 dimensions, then it's very tricky for you to just magically turn that into 3 dimensions. So just remember that. The first thing we're going to do is just figure out how do we draw that character in 2 dimensions, and we're going to divide the mannequin up into 1 proportion and 2 proportions. As I said, basically dividing the character at halfway and that sort of crotch area, right? So we've got something like this. Now, as I said, I've got more videos that talk about this in detail. But this should illustrate the basic point. So what we need to find is these set of proportions. We got 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top. And we use these to define essentially where the head is going to go up top, where the top of the shoulders are going to go, and where the sort of normally this line is a really good line for where the breasts or the nipples are going to sort of go, again halfway up the arm. And this bottom of this 3rd marker is where you're going to have your navel and the bottom of the elbow. Down below, we're going to again divide this 2nd proportion in half, and we've got 1, 2. The top is going to be the top of the legs, and the 2nd one is the bottom of the legs. We've got some feet down here. We then know that the hand is probably going to come a little bit above the knee, normally 1 hand length above the knee, somewhere again around there. And that's the simple 2-dimensional proportion. Again, what we're doing is just making a stick figure out of this concept here. So this is where just, potentially copying these things or studying these or having some, you print out a version of this on your, computer or something like that, print it out, stick it up on the wall. It really helps to kind of make sure this stuff is fully imprinted into your memory. So it's important here that we find this halfway point. This division is really, really going to help. And again, you can fully study the figure, you can fully study all of these, but this is really the first exercise that I think you should apply. And this is the primary exercise that I think will really, really help you to just understand how to draw the figure from different angles. So in this case, if we transfer that proportion, right, so I'm sort of drawing it as a plane here, but this is just roughly to kind of illustrate things. Now I can guesstimate roughly where halfway up there is, but this is what we're dealing with when, all right, and we can divide that up. All right, we can divide that up. This is where thinking about those proportions in 2D will help us in 3D. So you can see that if I find the midpoint, then it's very easy for me to roughly guesstimate where these other 1, 2, 3, 4 proportions are going to be. In the same way, it's going to be a lot easier for me to now guesstimate where these feet and legs are going to be. That is the baseline. And if we think about essentially repeating this concept again and again, it's just a matter of getting to a point where you line all of these things up. Now, obviously, this changes as you pose the figure differently, as you move things around, as the character moves. But if you're thinking about how to get your head around this in the beginning, this is where you start. And I think that can be one of the biggest challenges with this overall exercise, is just understanding what is actually going to teach you how to get better at this. It often is this simpler exercise where you're just thinking about, okay, let's make sure I can control proportion as I just adjust the figure and draw it from a slightly different angle, right? So if we take a simple, got a little sort of toy here that'll sort of help us understand this, just start by rotating the figure a little bit, right? Just start by trying to draw it from a little bit of an angle there, and then maybe you can draw it from an angle that's slightly below, and then you can maybe try draw it from behind, etc., etc. Just ratchet up the complexity a little bit by bit. That's one of the things that will really, really help you. This is where it all happens, at that halfway point. So what you can do is just practice the idea of how do you divide up that space. So what we're doing is essentially taking the fundamental principle of perspective here, that is the one you take away. And that is that we can apply whatever is possible with two-dimensional geometry to three-dimensional perspective, as long as we have a good idea where the vanishing points are and where the essential grid is. All right, so we've got a grid, boom, boom. So I can do the same thing here because these corners don't move in two-dimensional space, and I can draw a line between them, and then I know how to divide up that space. So this is the fundamental concept of perspective that will help you to initially gauge that proportion. So we can think about this, right? If we have like a lot of extreme exaggeration, we still can find halfway up. And it's this experimentation with this basic concept that will teach you a lot about how to change the camera angle. Now, behind this is the concept of the perspective grid, which I think is its own challenge. And this is where what we can try and do is understand the basic takeaways that we're going to get from perspective as it relates to the figure. But if you have to understand that there's a point at which you need to go away and learn perspective properly if you want to really, really get stuck into this. But the fundamental thing that will help you understand it is the box logic, or just viewing the box that surrounds your space. You've probably seen a lot of people talk about this, and there's a lot of discussion about this as being important for your drawing, to understand the grids and the simple idea of three-dimensional space. So this is like a perspective grid. It's a sense that all these lines are heading towards a vanishing point. And again, I'm just being very rough. Now, what we're trying to do here is increase our ability to visualize three-dimensional space around the character. And that's really all you have to do. What you have to do is imagine that as you rotate the cube, the figure rotates. As you rotate the figure, the cube rotates. And don't worry too much about the rest of perspective. Again, the more you can understand about it, the better. But at the outset, what we have to think about is just this simple concept of where these lines might be, and just make sure that as we line things up, things like our feet, things like our shoulders are lining up with each other. Now, again, that will change as the hands move, right? As the hand moves up, as we pose the character, obviously all of that changes. It's really important to start and again get your understanding of the initial perspective right though, because it's very easy to move things around once you get the character feeling as if they're solid. So the first part of the exercise is, as I said, just study and get good at dividing up space with different grids. I actually have a whole video on this basic concept that is talking about how you draw straight lines. And one of the reasons I use a grid as a good way for you to understand how to draw straight lines is because often the reason we're drawing straight lines is to draw a grid. So the concept of physically being able to draw grids is super important. But what you do here with the figure is just draw some different grids and then try and figure out where the halfway point is. Again, that's not a very good one. Keep going, keep experimenting. Etc., etc. We can think about, again, that idea of drawing a character where we're at a worm's eye view or a bird's eye view, whatever it is. The most important thing initially is really basic. Just get that initial halfway point there. Once you do that, everything else becomes easy. Now, how do we sort of connect up the figure with this? Because I'm sure a lot of people are, at this point, sort of tuning out because this seems boring. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges, is understanding how this relates to what you want to do and why is it important. Well, obviously, once we get this right, we can then start to apply it to everything else. If we don't get this right, everything else is kind of a waste of time. All right, so how do we actually apply that? What I want to do mostly is talk about how that is applied and show it to you and give you a few little tools so that you can copy along, maybe try this with some of your characters or start to think about it. The goal here is that the more we can connect up figures and characters and interesting things with the topics of perspective, the more you're likely to get really interested in perspective and improving your perspective. If you can directly translate and apply the concepts that you might learn by studying 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, etc., at improving your technical drawing, then you can directly say, hey, now that I know that I've got this a little bit more accurate, that means the lines that I'm going to use to line up my character are going to be more accurate. I think that is the goal here. It's really easy doing drawing lessons to get lost in the weeds about perspective and form drawing and the concepts of boxes. So what I'm going to try and do is, again, just show you a little bit more how I do this so that hopefully you can get interested in learning the perspective if that's something that is lacking. And we can do some more basic perspective lessons on the channel as well. Let me know what you'd like to see. So the way that I start by this, and the way that I would apply the concept of those Loomis books to drawing and drawing the mannequin, is as follows. Let's start by drawing a character from above, as I was doing before. The most important thing that I think we can start with is just the center line. The center line is the thing that really helps us to anchor the figure. And this is similar to this center line here that is holding up the skeleton figure. This is an imaginary line running directly down the center of the body. And we can kind of really use this to figure out where that character is situated. So here we can, let's define some fairly sort of benign perspective here. This is all I'm using. So you can see this is actually similar to a box, right? If we think about a box being like this, what I'm drawing is this. Right, so I'm drawing the center of the box. You can imagine if there was a line there and a line there and then a line directly down the middle. That's kind of what I'm thinking about here. Where is the perspective? But I'm not drawing a box because in my experience, trying to fit a character in a box is not actually a good way to start. But in this case, that can be useful. Now, what I'm going to do is guesstimate the halfway point up here, from here to here. And this is something where, again, if you're having trouble drawing a line, right, again, thinking about where the perspective for that might be, and then trying to sort of guesstimate where halfway up is. If that's something that's troubling you, again, the more you learn about perspective, the better your ability to guesstimate that will be. If you're struggling, one of the things you can do is, again, formalize your drawing of these sort of elements and use those two-dimensional drawing tricks that we transfer to 3 dimensions, right? And see if you can find, bang, the center of that. So again, if I was to do that formally here, right, I'm just going to imagine that there is some sort of grid here that makes sense, right? So both these lines are going to some vanishing point, and I've got a line here. Boom. I'm going to try and guesstimate that's kind of down there straight, right? Boom. And then we can do the same thing here. So this is really the one that is super important to get right. Oh, I don't have a big enough ruler. Let's see if I can. I'll sort of see if I can guesstimate it kind of there. I think it's somewhere. Look, it's. Don't do that at home, people. Get a longer ruler. But I think this is going to be. It's going to be. It's pretty close. It's somewhere around there. So that is pretty close. Again, my guesstimation. And if we were to look at the vertical distance here. Right, that's kind of 19. Half of 19 is somewhere around here, 9.5. So it's actually sort of like pretty much visually and measurement wise exactly the same. Now that's going to change depending on how much extreme perspective you get. But what I would do if you're thinking about drawing characters from above and different angles is just start with something basic like this. If you start to get to the point where you're thinking, oh, drawing characters from above equals really, really distorted grids. So it's not just that we're drawing the character from above, right? It's that we're drawing these kind of really extreme perspective shots. What you're doing is getting two concepts mixed up, in my opinion. One is the concept of the camera angle and how much distortion there is and how much exaggeration in the grid there is, from the concepts of lining things up and thinking about where the camera actually might be in relation to the figure. It's a lot easier to start with very low distortion. again, it's very easy here to jump into a whole another subject of camera lenses, etc., etc., etc. The point is that you can draw a character, again, like a small character that's like fairly far away. There's not going to be heaps and heaps of distortion on this figure because, again, they're fairly small in relation to the camera. With a much larger figure, right, that gets really close to the camera, right, we can sort of take this really close to the camera. Sorry, it's going to get blurry, but you see the closer to the camera we get, the more distortion you get, right? So again, sorry it's blurry, but you get the basic idea. The camera angle is relating to what we're dealing with here in terms of extreme perspective. Now, that's something where the more of this extreme perspective you do, the better you'll be able to relate this to this. But when you're learning, stick with this. Just make it a very simple grid where you don't have a lot of distortion. Once you've done that, you can ratchet up the complexity. Super, super important. And again, if you're struggling with some of these concepts, as I said before, go check out some more fundamental perspective exercises. A lot of those you can actually see and study within those Loomis books. And again, I will make some more in the future on the channel. So the basic concept here is, again, we've got these proportional markers, and I'm just going to guesstimate, right, some lines going along here. Right, and we can also visualize some sort of lines going here that might sort of help us. And then we've also got, we're sort of halfway up here. Oh, yeah, maybe let's sort of guesstimate that. Try and draw a line. And what we're doing is adding just a very, very simple modification of our sort of initial Loomis proportion and sort of drawing, where we learn to draw the mannequin like this. I've got a head here, neck here, right, shoulders here, etc. So we're drawing the mannequin like this. What we're doing is we're taking these lines which don't have a lot of distortion on them, and we're just making sure that we draw them from different angles. That really is all that's going on. Just because you don't have extreme distortion in your perspective doesn't mean it isn't in perspective. That really is just related to the lens and where we're seeing characters from. Again, if you think about going back to that, sketch I had before where I had a bunch of little characters on the ground, normally that's going to be taken with a camera lens that's quite far away, taking a big sort of scenic shot from afar, and you're not actually going to have a lot of this distortion. This type of distortion is going to be much more prevalent when you've got the object really, really close to the camera, and there's going to be a lot more distortion there. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is still perspective, even though it's not ridiculously distorted. What we're trying to do is get used to lining up the character and drawing them from above and below. So here we're just going to do above, and hopefully I'll do a quick one below, and then we'll do a quick little sort of more cartoony character to show you how you apply the same basic concepts to something with a little bit more different proportional set. A little bit more of a different proportional set. So again, the reason I feel like focusing on the center line is important is that really is literally at the core of what we are trying to do. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here I've got, right, I've got my 1, right, 2. So what I know is that here, right, I'm going to have my sort of pelvic probably a little bit higher, right? We're going to have the pelvic bit here, and this right rib cage is actually going to come down here. So really good to get used to drawing these forms out in 3 dimensions. And this really is the skill that's probably more important and is going to help you. The grid helps us line up these points. So here I'm going to have, right, we've got the spine coming there, Alright, we're going to have spine coming up there, and it's going to go into the head, just somewhere around here. Boom, boom, boom. Drop a line down there. Let's sharpen this pencil. Alright, so we've got our head here. The lines will help us find these elements like the shoulder blades, right? They're going to help us find the shoulders from side to side. They're going to allow us to line up, again, the concept of where the hip bones are going to be. But you can see that having this concept of the center line is something that's really easy to keep us honest, because we can trace the spine, we can trace the which goes directly up the figure, and we can use that to help us find these different elements, and that, you know, just immediately will get us a lot closer to having something that feels symmetrical. And again, what we're after now is we've got this grid this way, right? We sort of have a grid this way. We don't really need it for a lot of things. But this is where, again, you can line things up and try and imagine where we have symmetry. Now, if you wanted to get more technical with the symmetry, you could try and do more technical perspective work to mirror. Again, I'm just going to eyeball. And what I would suggest is you just keep trying to eyeball it until you get sick of eyeballing it, and then go and learn how to measure it. Go and learn how to do it technically in perspective. And it'll hopefully be a lot more interesting then, because then once you learn it, you can come back to this and you know that you'll be more accurate. As I keep saying, I feel like that's so important. It's important to fail here. It's important to try to eyeball. It's not a matter of like get to a point where you're a 10 out of 10 at technical perspective, and then you can start eyeballing. No, you know, you are always guessing. You're always drawing cool stuff. Again, that's my primary recommendation, is draw cool stuff and, you know, figure out what you need to learn from drawing that interesting stuff, and do a little bit of this type of more academic study where we try and apply these things, and then, you know, go apply it to your cool stuff, and then you go back and forward and back and forward and back and forth. That really is the sort of magical answer as far as I'm concerned. That's really what sort of worked for me, and that's what I find typically works with students, is when they're constantly combining those two things. So what that means is sometimes you jump in and try and guess, and you fail, and you can redraw, and you can sketch around and try and draw something interesting. Draw something fun, you know, try and, if you want to draw mechs, you know, try and draw some mechs from different angles. If you want to draw, you know, fantasy stuff or aliens, you know, draw some alien characters from different angles, etc., etc. Now, I've talked a lot about, in other videos as well, how to add the musculature on top of the mannequin. So for this demo, we'll just deal with mannequins, right? Because the process is almost identical. It's just a matter of thinking about, again, how the muscles kind of wrap around and look from different angles. But the trick here is, how do we figure out where these points of proportion are? So again, I've got this bottom of this third. Proportion is often where I'm going to have my elbow. And here, again, I'm going to find that I'm going to have a combination of, I've got the bottom of the pelvis here, and the hand, right, is going to stop, right, hand is sort of going to start just below there. The elbow, right, hand is gonna, and this is where, again, what you'll tend to find is your intuition will be challenged. So the feeling of like, wait a minute, how long is this forearm? Well, I know from a proportional standpoint, right, if we look at this, that, again, I've got that bottom of that rib cage. Just look at this and check, because again, this is a major thing that will come up. I've got the bottom of the rib cage. All right, it's going to line up with that elbow. Now, it's very easy to figure out the depth and the length of these things when you're just drawing it flat on, but it's very easy to become challenged and accidentally draw stuff too long or too small or whatever, or just kind of, you just get tripped up and you're no longer able to engage your normal natural drawing intuition. So it's important here to double check and remember your proportions. We can see again at the bottom of the pelvis there, that's kind of where the hands start, and the hands then go down, and they're kind of, you know, ending about halfway up this bone, or about, as I often say, one hand length above the knee, or certainly the hinge point of the leg. Whoop. So that is one of these things that's kind of quite tricky from a proportional standpoint to really get. All right, is understanding where these lines are likely to go. All right, so then we're going to have a line about there. All right, we're going to have a hand. If the hand was sort of extended, it would be about here. Right? If it was in a fist, it would probably be here. And here we've got the knee. Here we've got this. Now, this, I think, is often the biggest problem when it comes to drawing these things from different angles, is making sure that they connect with the ground. And more important, and probably the subject of a different video, is how do you do, as I was doing in that other sketch, multiple characters from the same angle and make sure they all feel like they're sitting on the ground plane. Again, this is where having a good sense of that center line will really help. If we know where that center line is, you can easily understand that the feet, you know, if they're just sort of planted normally, which is what I'd recommend initially to give them just a standard sort of pose, is they're going to be equidistant more or less in a standard pose from that center line. Now, again, subject of another video is kind of how we modify the posture and get different feelings there. But just understanding where that center line is in space, and then just sort of placing the heels of the feet somewhere so that there's an equal distance from here to here is super helpful. And then what I'm doing is basically just thinking about where these lines are going out at different angles. So you can think about that from a two-dimensional standpoint. If I'm looking down, right, here's this line on the ground, here's the center line, here's this foot here, and here's this foot here. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, well, the feet are kind of turned outward, a little bit like they are here. I'm doing it a little bit more exaggerated to make the point. But again, just visualizing the space, understanding the center, being able to measure, right? Again, it's the same thing. Visualizing the center line, measuring that space or guesstimating that space. Again, visualizing that center, understanding the points, right? So if we reattach our poor little skeleton's arm, again, this is the visualization we're trying to practice, is where's the center, where is the wrist sort of point, and where's the other wrist point, and just visualizing the distance. Having that center line there is super important, right? So this is what we're sort of trying to visualize. Points here, points here, points here. And really it is that simple. It's just a matter of staying true to the proportion, understanding how important the proportion is, understanding how important finding that middle section is. And what I'd say is not getting too lost in the perspective, just understanding that what we need is almost just parallel lines, right? Almost all I need to know is that, right, this line is kind of at like a similar angle to this one. It doesn't even need to be too much in perspective. I don't really even need these to be going to the same vanishing point. I just need them to kind of be almost in an isometric perspective to practice this. Again, once you start getting this and you're able to place these things accurately, I think that's when you'll be able to experiment a little bit more and take it to the next level. All right, let's try from below, because I think, again, what that will do is help us to just reiterate, do the same thing again, but we'll deal with a much more extreme angle. So we'll have a basic angle there, right? But a little bit of, let's put a little bit of an angle here, right? So maybe the horizon line is super low down, right? Here we've got our horizon line, and again, what I'm after is a sense of where that center is. So I'm just gonna, now again, there's a procedural sort of thing here, which is obviously, you know, I could draw a big box here, right? So I'm trying to find halfway here. It doesn't really matter how big this box is. That's not really the point. All I need to do, you can sort of draw any old size box. Again, I'm going to run out of ruler. Let me find a bigger one. This will solve that problem. So you can see here that it's going to find center right over here, but that does give me a really good indication of where that's going to be, because all I'm going to try and do now is sort of draw, if we sort of try and understand what's happening from a visualization standpoint, right? I've drawn this, right? And what I'm trying to visualize is where this one is going to go. Now, it's not going to go there, right? I don't want to draw it that way because that doesn't look like it's going to the same vanishing point. I want to draw it so that it feels like it's going to the same same vanishing point over there, right? That's kind of what I want, right? And I want my horizon line to be somewhere there. That's kind of what I'm doing. Now, the line can be over here. It doesn't matter. What I'm after is where is halfway up this measurement, right? So if there was a line here or a line here, if I find the center between this line and this line, it will give me halfway up all of these lines. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if not, it's a good example of how learning some more perspective may help. So here again, what I'm doing is, this is the bit that will derail you if we get it wrong. What I'm trying to do is figure out where I place this line. Now there's a really easy trick that you can use, and that is to just measure. This is another sort of easy sort of way you can do this to kind of help you guesstimate. What I can do is physically measure. Right here I've got, right, sort of roughly, that's roughly 20, so 10 is going to be halfway up here. And if we sort of take a measurement here, that's 16 and a half, so 8 and a bit, right? It's going to be somewhere around there. So if I kind of draw a line between these somewhere around here, right? Again, those things don't all line up perfectly. That's going to give me a pretty good indication of where halfway up is. Or you can just guess. Totally up to you. This is a really good way where you can start to apply these boring perspective concepts to your drawing, get a better result, get a better guesstimate, and make sure, again, you're doing that thing, building that muscle of applying the technical knowledge to something that's actually going to help you. The other thing you can do is you can try guessing first, and then you can do all of the things and see how far you get. You can see I kind of guessed about there, and it was a little bit down there. The point is that we want to get a feeling for where halfway up this figure is if we then start drawing the rest of these lines. Because obviously what I'm going to do now is divide up this top thing into 4 sections, and I'm going to divide this into half. And I'm just guesstimating at that point. Why? Because this is pretty accurate, and what you'll find generally with a lot of perspective is once you kind of key into it, once you kind of understand like, oh, I get what's happening here, I've got a solid indication, I know these are true, then it's a lot easier for your brain to kind of guess the rest, if that makes sense. You kind of have the framework and the rest kind of fall into place. So again, I've got some of these lines going here. I'm not drawing them that accurately, but it is the same idea. We're going to have And what I'll do, and what I suggest to do is kind of just rough it in first, right? I'm going to have here sort of pelvic stuff here. There's going to be a rib cage thingy here. Again, they're going to sort of line up a little bit. Again, you know, the side of the rib cage will kind of line up with the pelvis. You kind of have that. Boom. Right. It helps me anyway to sort of visualize the spaces a little bit, right? Take those sort of jelly bean, take those, where's a good place to draw here? Take the jelly beans, right, and add dimensionality. Right, just think about like, where is the three-dimensional space there? Let's draw through, right? Let's try and define that space. I'm going to have a spine that goes up like that. It's going to come back behind, right, from the spine, comes back, sort of curves in. Oh, sorry, let's get that closer. Curves in on the small of the back, goes out, and then comes in. That's that sort of arc that I'm trying to visualize. So it's there, comes back up here, right, and then it's going to insert in the back of the skull there, right, and then I can draw the skull, right, I know, right, can define dimensionality within that sphere, etc., etc. And here I've got, again, some shoulders. Right, going to place those shoulders. Again, visualizing. Right, got sort of a neck here. Again, I feel like those shoulders could be a little bit, again, a little bit more on that line. Now, you can either rough in or guesstimate, make things a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. If you run into trouble there or consistently run into trouble, again, one of the things that I'm facing is, as I often see with these drawing demos, I'm looking at this paper from a little bit of an angle. I'm also meant to be looking up at it from the drawing, so it's going to be hard for me to gauge how big that head actually needs to be. But when I rough it in, again, the things that will help me to visualize that are, again, thinking about where that center line is, right? So it's almost like we're sort of, you know, got the sphere, right? We're sort of chopping half of it off, and then we got this, right? And there'll be like eyes here. So I'm sort of trying to think about where that is under there. That will sort of help. And again, this is just construction drawing. So you know, if you're practicing these things, go crazy with it. Draw the lines, make it messy. It's you know, it's really worthwhile going pretty rough, you know, as rough as you need. But again, you know, might need to make that head a little bit bigger or smaller. Again, don't feel like when you're doing these exercises that you need to get the ruler out for everything. Part of this is training your intuition and your ability to just kind of wing it and see how you go. So don't freak out if, you know, you're like, oh, I need to make the head a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. If it's really important and it's a really, really highly detailed illustration, then, you know, you might measure it out a little bit more. But most of the time with the mannequin, what we're after is lining things up. The things that will make the drawing really sort of awful are if, you know, the arms aren't lined up properly. You know, if the eyes don't sort of line up, right? If I don't, you know, if one eye's, you know, up here and the other eye's down there or something silly, those are the things that are going to make the difference. It's easy to kind of make the head overall a little bit bigger, overall a little bit smaller. Make sure it fits the character you want. If you're drawing a manga character, obviously your head might be a little bit bigger. Eyes are going to be a little bit bigger, right? Might be some sort of crazy hair or something like that on the figure. Who knows? Again, most of this is just get stuff in the right spot and then know the grid that you've got to line everything up on. But the good thing about proportion this way is that, you know, I don't even have to start drawing the legs because I sort of know where they're going to go. Right? I have a good understanding and a good ability to guesstimate you know, where that line is, so I kind of know where those legs are going to go, right? I've got a pretty good pretty good indication. Again, that's the heel of the foot. This is the ball of the foot. So we can't see it. This one's foreshortened, right, coming at us. Again, that's, you know, its own little drawing problem that can be quite challenging to solve. But at its core is just, you know, going through things logically and kind of thinking about what you see when you're looking at a foot from front on. But as I said, I can either draw the legs or I could draw the hands because I know where everything is going to end up. We know what's going to happen. Now, I think probably, again, that's kind of where the bottom of that rib cage is meant to go. Right, so the bottom of the rib cage is meant to be probably a little bit lower. Right, navel is sort of going to be about there, and that means probably I've drawn these shoulders a little bit narrow, based on sort of, I think we're drawing sort of like a male figure. All right, so just going to sort of guesstimate where that is going to go, and we're going to line it up. And again, doing those things is totally fine. A lot of it is just recognizing the proportion. You know, you go through it, and then just, you know, I realize, oh, that's right, you know, that torso, right, sort of comes down and you know, hits the bottom of that proportion, right? So we sort of got 1 proportion, 2 proportion, 3 proportions, 4 proportions. And here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just drew this a little bit small initially. Again, not a problem because we can go in and adjust it. And that probably means visually this head is going to want to look a little bit bigger. But that's all we need to do. I know that the shoulders are going to be there. Again, I know that the forearms are sort of going to be about there. And as I said, we probably draw these shoulders a little bit lower. Shoulder there, shoulder there. So as I said, it's totally fine to experiment, to push and, you know, play with these things, make the shoulders a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. The goal is for you to understand what's happening, be able to troubleshoot. If you make a mistake like I did there, then, you know, you sort of know how to fix it. And mostly that you're just lining things up. So just remember, we're trying to line things up. Got the elbows are lined up, the hands lined up, the knees lined up, etc., etc., etc. I'm finding center, right? Center of that, right? Shoulders, boom, 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 etc. So again, same basic idea, very simple to apply. Practicing it can be a challenge, right? You've got to keep trying. You've got to keep playing with these things. It's very easy to make one mistake, as I said, you know, oh, this proportion's wrong. And the trick there is just fix it. Play around with fixing it. Fixing it is just as important as getting it right in the beginning. All right, we'll do one more little demo where we talk about a more sort of cartoony character, and we'll apply the basic same concepts there. Again, just to reiterate and sort of talk about how you can apply these perspective things to anything. All right, so same idea, but let's draw a little character that maybe has some different anatomical things, but we'll apply the same basic concept. We'll draw it from above. So again, what I'm doing is sort of setting a grid that way, and then I'm drawing some kind of line to help me figure out what's happening with the character. But in this case, mostly what I'm going to do is just discuss how we can use the concepts of form drawing to experiment. So here I'm going to have some sort of those hip bones, but in this case, let's draw something that maybe is a bit more like a dragon or some little character who is a little bit more cartoony. So dragon sort of creature. Right, in this case, I'm going to draw, think about where that's where the center is. I've got we're lining things up. What I'm going to do is line up, that's where the knees are lined up, and then I'm going to draw one of these sort of animalistic legs. Right, so let's transfer that over. Here I've got, again, from side to side. Right, there's the center. Right, we've got this here. Got that there. We're just drawing points in space. Here I've got my pelvis. Let's see if we can find that. This is tricky because we've got a lot of foreshortening here. Right, and then I've got this over here. Where's it hit the ground? Hits the ground kind of over here. So really what we have to think about is what is the line of, where does that hit the ground? Right, and how do I get that leg to sit there, right? So again, if we were to look at this from above, if I draw this line from here, right, here we've got sort of the pelvis, and what we're doing is drawing legs out, boom, out here, and then it goes back, but that is kind of underneath. Right, so we're finding that point of this. Look at it from the side, it's going dunk, 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 and we're finding these points, and then it goes down, and we don't really see that, right, and then it comes out, right, and we sort of barely see that. So this is where, again, some of that perspective will come in handy. So now I'm going to draw our rib cage, and I think this is going to attach a little bit forward, so I still want to think about where that center line is going to be, but I'm going to transfer that over there. And so now what we're trying to do is find, again, like we'll have an arm here and an arm here, and we've got the spine wrapping around here. All right, we'll have a head, bump, bump, and let's put some arms down here. So I'm just going to transfer that arm right over here. Let's have some big chunky hands. Right, so we've got a mannequin like this. Hopefully you guys can see this, and then we'll go, let's extend out. Right. Again, this is not a great design, mostly just because it's good to see all of these things working. Right, so we have a neck here, then we're going to have a tail. Now we find the tail by finding the point on the ground. Right, let's trace from there. We can think about what's happening here if we think about the side. Right, we've got pelvic bones, and then this is coming up here, right, curving around, boom. And at the front there we've sort of got the shoulders, and then this is continuing forward. Right, we've got some sort of thing there, and what's happening is this is the ground, and what I want is the tail to come down here. Right, although in this case it looks like it's coming a little bit more like that. So hopefully you can see how, again, we can practice, and again, hopefully you can see how that is going to turn into some sort of fantasy character that might look interesting. Again, just to sort of nail home the point, if we can sort of erase some of that out, and maybe, you know, put some extra sort of musculature on it so that you can see. right? If we have some sort of arms like this. Right, leg. And here we'd have, again, some sort of toes. So yeah, again, hopefully you see that we could build that up if we wanted. And to me, you know, this is the sort of stuff that I was, you know, more interested in doing as, you know, characters that weren't, you know, typical humans. But the point is that just practicing these things, stepping through the basics, doing your simple division of space will really help. If you can do this right, if you can practice this and just keep going, you know, break out the ruler if you need to do it. If you're finding things are going wonky, as I said, go back, check your fundamental perspective knowledge, make sure that you're being accurate. A lot of the time, you know, these things are sort of going pear-shaped because, you know, as I said, we're trying to do a little bit too much of this extreme perspective. You're trying to do too much. Stick with something that's almost like an isometric perspective. Isometric perspective is where, again, the lines don't really go back to a vanishing point. They're just kind of parallel to each other. That will teach you the fundamentals of how to control these grids that underline the figure and the structure. Once you do that, then you can start to build out more interesting characters. You can start to play with, again, much more extreme views, much more extreme angles. You know, you could try something that is, you know, super distorted, right, where we're seeing like massive amounts of distortion there. Again, you ratchet up the difficulty bit at a time, do a little bit of this, and again, there's like levels to the degree to where you're studying. These are still abstract studies. Do a few of these things and then just go draw your normal stuff for fun, right? That's what's important. The idea is important. Having fun while you're drawing is important. If you find that these are tricky, as I said, go back and just, you know, try and get your ability to draw cubes or some basic things as solid as that can be, because then you find that there's follow-on. There's a flow to how these things support each other. But yeah, hopefully that has been interesting. Let me know in the comments. This is a little bit more of a technical one, which I do sort of apologize for. And the real challenge here is that I think both as a drawing teacher and as a student, what I remember, and I still find this kind of frustrating, is that it is hard to know where to approach this from. There's 4 or 5 things that you absolutely need to get right in order to start rotating these figures around and drawing them from different angles, and there's no linear way you can do it, I think, that gives you some amazing solution where you just do A, B, C, and then all of a sudden it magically works. It's a progression. Again, as I say, people can get really good at drawing cubes, and then they, you know, can't transfer those skills to their more interesting fun drawings. And likewise, you know, if you just kind of keep doing this but you don't study the perspective, then, you know, you're going to find it a little bit harder to you know, draw these things from different angles, and it's certainly going to take you a lot longer to get those things sorted. So it's a matter of doing all of these things and trying to figure out where they fit into your art journey, where they fit into your particular way of doing things. And I think the most important thing is to look for failure. Look for places where you aren't understanding things, but jump in first. Don't be afraid. It's okay if you try these things and they don't work. Don't freak out. Just step back and say, hey, what do I need to learn? Which fundamental thing am I not getting? You know, am I just completely not lining these things up? In many cases, it is just one of the biggest problems that you'll face is just people will be trying to draw these kind of lines and they're not even remotely going to the same vanishing point. There's a lack of accuracy. So that's where, again, just building your ability to draw straight lines, to develop grids. Again, I'll link to that video in the description. Just making sure all of that stuff is solid will help immensely. But this is a long game. This is a long journey. If you're partway along the journey, then again, you probably sort of know that already. There's no trick. As I said, you got to piece these things together in your subconscious mind a little bit at a time, and you slowly build structures that support each other. But I think what you have to understand is this does work, and you will get better at it a little bit by a little bit over time. So good luck with this. Let me know if you got any questions or comments down below. And but that's all I got for now. We'll catch you around. Happy drawing.
I had an injection to sort of protect me from dirty chimps. Learn English, all pulled together. Anyway, what was my point?
In a few words, your gut reaction.
Yeah, gut reaction isn't wise, because it still hasn't settled since all these places. I don't think that's going to have a clue.
Right.
A little bit of a blob with a head on it. I mean, really weird looking stuff that you go, I don't know what it's doing in the world. In the end, they ate one.
Oh, God! To be quite honest, I thought he'd be a bit more virile. Even though he's 23, his penis is actually 102. Why did he have that put on? Why did he have it put on?
Is this any use? I don't know what this is.
No, nothing wants your penis.
You'd be surprised. Honestly, there's some weird stuff out there. Now everyone's saying to me, you've seen the Amazon? That's amazing. Well, how come the stuff that lives in it doesn't want to live in it? You'd rather live in my knob than live in the river. So you're telling me that I'm meant to be lucky. That's what I'm saying. Nowhere's safe.
Bring Suzanne, your girlfriend, back anything from these trips?
Yeah, I got her like a turtle like you blow into its arse and it makes a tune, but she hasn't played with that. They make everything weird. That's what I'm worried about.
Expand on this. I don't understand what you mean.
Everything. Chicken. Why is it orange in Chinatown? Just the slightest thing. The chicken is orange.
The result, I'll just give Suzanne some
No,
flowers.
because she'd be going, oh, aye, what's been going on? If I built her that, she'd be going, what's been going on? Are they the oldest thing on the world?
I told you, he needs an absolute.
They've got that there every day when they leave the house. They see it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's there again. Sick of seeing it. It's like a pylon to them, that. You get sick of it. Oh, hello, Dad. I've been there for a bit.
Well, what are you talking like that for, Carl? How's Suzanne?
I'm not with her anymore.
What is?
Don't look. If you're going like that, that's more of a worry. If you're not happy looking a knob in the face, there's something wrong. You should be comfortable with it. Just there you go.
It's a good rule of thumb.
I learned that babies in China, a lot of them have square heads.
Right, go on.
We're going to kill this kid if you don't give us the 5 million.
How can
We're
you call
getting
him a
sick
kid?
of him.
Why? What's he doing?
He's just shouting Congress tart. Give him the money. Give us the money.
Okay.
I wouldn't have got him to call you, actually. There's no way. There's no way. So to be a Hell's Angel, you've got to shit in your pants.
Of your mum giving you.
So shit in your pants and keep them on for a week. So, yeah, my dad said me Auntie Nora could have joined then. But,
So, oh, fuck me. You are the strangest man on the planet.
you haven't been to China.
Thank you. Good night.
See you later.
Oh.
Done.
There's Carl there. Say hello.
Alright.
Yeah, that's Carl. He's stop that a minute, Carl. He's a producer on the XFM show. It's a free advert there.
What's this for?
Well, let me explain. I've just realised that it's 2 days before the opening night,
and I've got no one to introduce the support act, Johnny Camden, you know him?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record one on tape. I've left at the last minute, but a friend is going to help me out, aren't you, Carl?
I'll do, yeah.
Karl Pilkington there. Alright? What do you think of this? I've got a joke. I was going to say, I was going to do sort of like a spoof sort of charity thing, that, and then I was going to go, and he's all the way from Dublin. He's a handsome, strong man. Ladies, you'll want him to take you home and give you a hard, smooth, long asphalt drive.
Is that right? I'd laugh.
You would, under what circumstances would you laugh? Because I just told it to you and you fucking didn't.
Yeah, but it's different when there's, do you know what I mean? When you're with a load of people who are laughing, you sort of laugh with them. But yeah, it's funny, I'd do that. That'll work.
Maybe I won't actually, it might come across as a bit racist.
Well, Johnny's not black, is he?
No. I mean the Irish race, the Irish nation, the Irish. Look what happened to Anne Robinson when she said the Welsh.
Well, what happened?
They all got annoyed, didn't they?
Yeah, but what did they do?
Good point.
Right, then we'll get some level then.
Testing. Karl Pilkington's little baldy head.
Yeah, but that's bad, because you know that it looks rounder on tape than it does in real life. Look at that head. Look at that.
Now this guy is very interesting. Kenny, in South Africa.
Yeah.
You talk about him now, he's this kind of extraordinarily rich man, isn't he? He surrounds himself with beauties. You talk about, so Kenny asked me to get in the pool with him, you say, and all the women, so surround himself with all these women, that's just one of them there.
Yeah.
But I didn't like the idea of that. There wasn't really enough room to have a proper swim, as there was a woman in every space. If I had to try and do the breaststroke in the pool, that's exactly what I would have got.
I don't know, for me it was, I couldn't be doing with that, having all these people around all the time.
Yeah. You're quite well off now, aren't you? You've got your nice big house and everything.
I'm all
has
right.
that made you happier than you were when you were
Yeah, it was the thing that I always wanted. That was the main thing, a house. I'm not bothered about, I've told you, clothes aren't anything. I don't wear jewellery because it irritates me. Holidays, the last thing I want to do when I'm not working is get on a plane because I've been flying about. So really, it's always just been the house has been the main thing that I've always wanted, my space. And I'm happy with it, and I like doing work in it, and I'm happy to have people round, but I'm happy to get them out as well. I'm really house proud. Yeah. If you come round, if I ever said come round, I say, oh, can you take your shoes off?
Yeah, are you one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Shoes off.
No matter who it is.
Really?
Yeah, the gas man, he hates it.
I bet.
He's like, oh, do you know how many houses I go to? And it's like, well, if that's the case, you should have those coverers.
Yeah.
I'm not inviting you.
What's so special about your flooring that the shoes will?
Because it's clean, isn't it? I've cleaned it. I've got a steaming mop. I've got one of those Vax mops. I keep it clean, like I say. I'm house proud. And the point is, I didn't ask for the gas meter to be in the house. I didn't ask for him to come round. I'm always sending my own readings. They're always sending an email saying to give us a reading. So why is he coming round anyway? So if you're going to come round and hassle me when I didn't ask you to come round, they don't make an appointment. They just come round and go, I'm here to read your meter. We'll bring some shoe coverers. Because whilst I was in Japan, I had a sperm test. Have you ever done that?
No, thank God.
I went into, no, it's all right. I mean, it's quite, it's good.
Hi. Welcome to Learn Guitar with David Brent. Before we start this lesson, got a little surprise for you. Just to spice things up. Literally. Remember this guy, Dom, from Equality Street? That's going down a storm still.
Hearing it. People love the rap and that.
Yeah, well, I like the tunes as well. I've got another tune for us to do together. This one is it's a little bit reggae, a little bit calypso, hence the, you know. And have you got a rap for it?
Yeah, I wrote a rap. It fits, I think. Like it's got, there's like a little sing-songy bit as well. I was gonna get this girl Tanisha to sing it, but then she got busy with like prison and that. So if you can, it's just
not
like
a problem.
lines.
Not a problem.
Yeah?
Not a problem.
Cool.
Yeah. The rap hasn't got anything about dwarves and wheelchairs in it at this time.
It's a different concept.
Because you know, I love dwarves and people in wheelchairs. You know, in fact, I would love a dwarf in a wheelchair as a mate. I've said that before.
When you never said that.
I do, yeah. But you know, in song form, it's a downer. You know, keep that sort of thing to documentary.
Right,
So, yeah, it's as I say, it's sort of world music. It'd be good with a get the band round it. So you know, a little bit of clips. So steel drums, all that. Maybe some real African vibes from, you know, stuff like Paul Simon. And yeah, let's do it. It's called Ain't No Trouble. I can work all day just to earn $1. I can break my bone, you never hear me holler. I can lose my home, I'm kicked out in the street. If my baby's by my side, then life is sweet. 'Cause ain't no trouble like trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, you can take my eyes, Lord, leave me blind. You can make me lame, Lord, I'm sit on my behind. And I still won't beg, Lord, and I'm no hero. If my baby's by my side, Lord, you've taken zero. Ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, I could lose my job.
But it'd be fine, 'cause I could still find the odd snob to rock.
I could get chucked out
of my mum's house, but it could be fun sleeping rough when the sun's out.
Lose my voice,
but I've managed to still do some sick rhyme damage with sign language.
Can't take what's mine.
Almost anything, Xbox, wedding ring, fish tank, terrapin, poke me in the eyeball, pull out a gun, say something spiteful about my mum. Tease my dog so he doesn't even know it by going to throw a bone but just pretending to throw it. Make death threats, yeah, and I have to guess where. Then when I get there, pull out my chest hairs, headbutt me in the nuts if you want. 'Cause ain't no trouble like losing the one you love.
Ain't
Come
no
on.
trouble like trouble.
Yeah,
when you lose the one you love,
lose it.
Ain't
lose
no
it.
trouble like the trouble.
Yeah,
if you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble.
Trouble.
If you lose the one you love, ain't no trouble like the trouble. If you lose the one you love, oh. Oh.
Yeah, what? Why'd you? What? No, just the D thing, like.
What do you mean?
When you lose D1, the one D1.
Ain't no trouble like the trouble.
No, no, the lyric goes.
When you lose the one you love.
Love. Wait. Where you got love from?
Ooh, you don't know. Right, this song is about my favourite place in the world, Slough. Just great memories, great memories. More convenient than a Tesco Express. Close to Windsor, but the property's less. It keeps the businesses of Britain great. It's got Europe's biggest trading estate.
I think I follow science more than you do. You watch all your Soprano box sets and all that lot. I'm watching science. I'm reading
but
science.
You don't get anything from it.
I do it for a minute.
Well,
It
what have you learned
entertains
most
me.
recently? But you don't learn anything. It goes in and doesn't go out, and then you extrapolate in your own little world.
A bit of knowledge is better than none. You don't know. I have.
What? What's the most recent piece of scientific information you've discovered?
There was some scientist on the radio saying that I might not be bald, I've just got very fine hair.
Was he referring specifically to
No,
you?
he just was saying any bald men listening. New science shows this. Oh, all right, that's good. Bit of science. I heard there's a load of birds in America that just died, no one knows. That's a bit mysterious, there's no answer to that one. There's
Well,
just
there is.
like 500
There is an
birds.
answer to it.
What's that then?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, but that's...
To say that we don't...
But that's the best bit of science, I think. The bit when you go, oh, what was that? When you go, they flew into a big window, you go, oh, boring. I like that bit of it. I like the bit of, can we make this kid with no legs walk? Don't know. Give it a go. Yeah, we have. Oh, a bit boring. It's the bit,
So
it's the
you'd rather
working
that
on
kid
it.
didn't walk?
I like the bit when he's dragging himself about and you're going, will we do it? Will we ever make this boy walk?
That's not science!
I'd love to see that show coming soon to the Science Channel. Will we ever make this boy walk? Yeah.
So he's got some new mechanical legs that he puts by the side of the bed. You
How
just
would
nick
you-
them
okay,
because you'd
right.
rather see him
There's a
crawl
little
in a
kid,
ring.
has he got legs? Or has he got legs that don't work? Right? They just
No,
don't
they're
work.
just not there.
They're just not there. He's got no legs at all. Was he born without legs? Right, so he's born without legs. Oh, this little baby's got no legs. Carl, will we ever make this boy walk?
Well, we can try.
Okay.
That's the good bit.
Down, 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 down. What are you doing first? Down, down, down.
Let's make some legs.
Ah, what?
Wood.
Wooden legs. 2011. Give him wooden legs. What wood are you using?
Something that's not too heavy. Only a bit of MDF.
Right, okay. Right. What do you do? How do you make the legs?
Just sort of say, right, how tall do you want to be? I want to be about 5 foot. Right, okay, we need a 2.5 foot leg.
Right.
Make them.
You're still going with wooden legs. Can I just convince you to look at some other materials?
No, we haven't got time.
We've got wooden
He's
legs.
got no legs and he's moaning. What do you mean you don't want wood? You haven't got anything down there. Selfish. He's brought out the real him.
Okay, right, okay. Mr. Pilkington, thank you for saying you'll have got wooden legs, but I'm just worried about, like, well, rotting and woodworm and...
Preservatives.
Sorry?
It's fine. Just preserve them twice a year.
Right,
It'll be fine.
right.
How rotting legs?
Well,
You haven't got any at the moment, so which is better, little Billy? What do you want, rotting legs or no legs?
Well,
Because there's other kids out there sort of rubbishing about on their arse who'd love these little wooden legs. What do you want? And that's how it should
Wooden
be.
legs.
Right then.
Okay.
This is not science, this is Pinocchio.
Right, come on. All right.
Questions for Karl, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
The questionnaire that is often featured at the end of the TV programme Inside the Actor's Studio. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Is that how it works?
Oh.
No,
What do you mean? What's the question?
Well, I don't know. You hear so many other things that you have to go through other gates. I can't imagine him being on the door, is what I'm saying. If he owns a place, what's he doing there? He could put anyone on it.
It's St. Peter, isn't it, who's normally minding the gates, famously.
Right, so it's him asking me.
OK, well, let's say it's St. Peter.
No. You go through the gate. Peter goes, "Oh, you're expected. He's got an appointment. We're going through to God. Go through a few doors. Go up top floor, right past the executive washroom, into his big office. Okay, that overlooks the universe."
So what?
So you've gone in to see God. It's an audience with God. You've died. You've gone to heaven. And what would you like God to say to you at that point?
Probably just say, you've done well and that in your life. You never did anybody any harm. So, welcome to heaven. Any problems, give us a shout. Here's a little layout of like a little map. It's kind of like.
I love this. This is a great answer. And my favourite one is "You never did anyone any harm." That's great. That's a brilliant thing for God to say.
Yeah.
So hang on, he's giving you a little map.
So he's giving you a little map of the area. It's
and
big.
he'll sort of say, "This is where you go for this. This is where you go for that." I'd probably ask him about the ghost situation. I'd say, am I now a ghost then? Or is this just like another planet that I've come onto?
Right.
I don't know if he'd answer that. I don't know if he'd be sort of a bit
cagey.
Yeah, a little bit like, well, I don't want to panic you and stuff. I'd say, right, is it right that I can see past family and that? Because to be honest, I'd probably prefer to stay away. No, but because the thing is, if you've done I've done all that in this life, so it's about moving on to another life and meeting different people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? It's just like the same all over again, but everywhere's white. I mean, I don't know if it is like
Do you think God would like this podcast?
Well, I suppose it just kills half an hour, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but time's not a problem for him, is it?
Yeah, it is, because he lives for ages, so he needs loads of filler. I bet he's, doing stuff that he's just like, I'm not really into this, but it's something to do, isn't it?
Sudoku and stuff.
But I think there'll be just as many problems up there as there is here, because at least people are leaving here, whereas up there, that's the thing that I'd be worried about the most, actually, that it's really crowded. Because it's years and years of dead people, isn't it? London does me head in. Up there, it's going to be well busier than that.
We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. Emily from New York has asked Karl this. Karl, if you were on a sinking ship, or you were in a burning building, and you were with myself and Ricky, but you could only save one of us. I don't know why that's the case, but you can only save one of us.
Yeah.
Who would you save? Would it be Ricky or would it be me?
I think it's a two-man dinghy.
Right, okay.
Possibly. And we're trapped, and he knows that if he stays there to get both our legs out from under this thing...
the girder.
Yeah, he dies. So he's got room, he's got time to save one. It's obviously me.
It's hard to say, isn't it, at this point?
What, because Steve's in the room, you mean?
Well, no, just because we don't know what the situation is.
Okay, well, let's say we're on a sinking ship, all right? So you're going to have to rescue one of us, drag us into the dinghy.
It's going under. You know, in 30 seconds, okay, this ship's going to go under and drag you down and you're going to die, right? And our legs are trapped, and you've got enough time to untangle one set of legs. Whose legs do you untangle?
Now, just because my legs are long does not necessarily mean it's more complicated.
No, it's exactly the same amount of time. Just have to make a choice. A terrible choice that Steve would not, hate you for.
Well, no, listen.
He won't be around for long. He's going to drown in 30 seconds. Forget him.
Bear in mind this, Karl. You are going to be stuck in a dinghy with Ricky Gervais, and who knows how long that's going to take. Think of all the head squeezing that's going to be going on, the comments, the wind-up. And do you honestly think that he's going to, if there's any provisions, that he's going to split them evenly with you? I mean, he's going to have drunk all the water, and there's only going to be about half an hour in. The food's going to be gone. Look at his gut. Look how much, of the food he's going to have to eat, the baked beans that you've got on board. Whereas me, you know how generous I am. I'm always sort of helping you out.
Oh, there we go, Karl. I think he's put the nail in his own coffin there. You know how generous I am, Karl. Let's talk about that, Karl. Come on, think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, have you forgot about that, Steve? What? The time when we went for a coffee, and we had to have a bit of a heated debate about the 50p change.
Yeah, you owed me 50p, and you decided you didn't want to give it to me because it was only 50p. And my point was, it's not a question of 50p, it's the fact that it's not your decision to decide not to give it to me. If I want to be generous, that's my decision. But you can't go, oh, it's only 50p, Steve.
It's my decision who
But you just given him a free keg of beer.
Yeah.
No, but that did not come to you, and you didn't pay for the free keg of beer. It was a promotional thing that was sent to you.
It's the same thing as the way I gave Suzanne my leaving present from my last job.
A lot of people may not be aware of this if they haven't heard us talking about it before. Yes, but you had a gift from your work as you were leaving after however many years of service, which you then gave straight to your girlfriend without telling her that it had been received from people at work.
Doesn't matter. She wanted a camera. It's the same thing as you. You wanted that lager that I got for free. It hasn't cost you anything. It doesn't matter where I got it from.
So you now decide, because you've given me a free lager, that you can now say, oh, actually, I'm not, in the future, I'll just take your money, Steve, on a whim.
Well, listen, stop arguing like this. You're rocking the dinghy. Carl, have some of my cheese.
Imagine if he would. Do you imagine he would ever say that? Can you imagine him ever offering you any of his cheese?
Are you going to save Carl, mate?
I don't want to say.
Well, think about it, and
I might do a sort of a for and against or something, and then sort of so the conclusion is
okay. All right.
Animal rights is a hot topic.
It's a big issue.
What rights should they have? We test drugs on animals, and we're basically saying if they die, they die. We'll learn something from them. People do make distinctions between animals' rights. They know that it's probably more acceptable to kill an ant than
punch a cow.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you, didn't I, about my dad's mate who had a monkey and he had to thump it.
What? Well, there's two things there. One, why did he have a monkey? Two, what sort of discipline is thumping a monkey? What was the monkey doing?
He was annoying his wife a lot and sort of, pinching her arse and stuff like that.
Right,
that's
wait
not
a minute.
true.
We've never heard this before. How have we had all these years of monkeys and we've never heard this before?
Ago.
Your dad had a mate who had a monkey?
Yeah, I'm sure I told you.
Why did he have a monkey? Just for a laugh?
Well, it was back in the day when people did. They all had odd sort of pets, and that, didn't they? In about 68.
Oh, in 1968, when everyone had a monkey.
We had to thump it. Now, the weird thing is...
No, that's weird enough.
Is this is all the story? This is the entire story?
No.
You've got all the information you've got is he had a monkey and he had to thump it?
Yeah, my dad told me about it. When he found out that I was into monkeys, he said, oh, Benny thumped one. And,
Benny thumped one! Oh, my son's into natural history, particularly simian variety. I've got an interesting fact for you, Carl. Sit down. What is it, Peter? Benny thumped one. Brilliant.
But what was interesting is the way that people are thumping other people all the time. No one bats an eyelid. Thump a monkey. People go, you thumped a monkey.
Yes, they do. They do go, you thumped a monkey.
So that's what's weird, isn't it?
But this chimp doesn't want to be caged and kept in a fucking council house in Manchester.
No, it was quite happy. And if it wants to live like a human... I mean, in the 70s... there were all the teabag adverts and all that, and they were loving that.
No, they weren't
people
loving
interfere. People go, that's unfair. Now they're in like a cage in a zoo. It was better when I was pushing a piano up the stairs.
They weren't really...
They weren't actual delivery men.
They weren't really sitting down and having a cup of tea.
Well, it wasn't a documentary. A week in the life of the monkey delivery men.
I love that. Chimps in a zoo now going, okay, now at least we were free.
Remember when we used to drive a van?
And we're on 58 quid a week.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be kept in a house in Manchester. Cruel to keep a person in a house in Manchester, so it's fucking cruel to keep a monkey.
Take it in your hand and grip it lightly.
Like that?
Oh, that's good. Now, first, take a deep breath and blow. Don't suck. And then put your finger...
Oh, God!
Just take it in your hand and grip it lightly.
Like that?
Oh, that's good. Now, first, you take a deep breath and blow. No, don't suck. And put your finger over the hole. Just take a deep breath and blow. No, don't suck. And put your finger over the hole.
Fuck me! I'm so sorry. Okay, same place.
Take a deep breath and blow. Don't suck.
Ooh.
And then put your finger over the hole.
To see him come at me with all that I'm a hard bastard stuff. I'd say, put the baseball bat down. Send the minders home. It's just you and me, skin on skin, stripped to the waist. He starts with me. I will destroy him.
Brilliant. And again, this time I won't laugh. Exactly the same. I won't laugh. I promise. Okay?
He starts with me.
I lied.
I've talked to actual SAS people. I mean, they've told me what it stands for.
What does it stand for?
Super Army Soldiers.
Okay, on action.
And okay.
Not okay. Super.
Ridiculous. Okay. Okay, this time. Okay, sorry, Jude, everyone. Carl, okay. What does it stand for, then?
Super Army Soldiers.
I'm fucked.
And action.
Fuck off!
I actually took too much to begin with, and I was a bit screwed. I didn't know.
Yeah.
All set.
Told you.
Fuck.
And action.
Do you know what I laughed at? Oh, get him another cup.
Well, it's because I don't want to have to keep drinking it.
No, get him another cup. I can't do that.
What are you talking about?
I can't. Get another cup. I'm not having that. Fucking disgusting.
But otherwise I've got to keep drinking the
Recycled
tea.
fucking and gone.
But I've got to keep drinking the tea, haven't I, otherwise?
Have a little sip of tea and drink it.
But I've been on about 3 cups now.
I was dressed up as a fucking genie for a day. You could be up like a rat out of a drain pipe. So, that's all I want. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was so long. I'm so sorry. I
had too much fun.
And action.
I had butted a Norse once.
Shooting
Jesus Christ.
So, it was a silly hook and then it got back for a bit.
Is the fact that I've got one leg shorter than the other.
I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed.
Sorry.
Is it the leg? Is it the fact that I've got one leg shorter than the other?
I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed? What are you doing, Rick?
I'm just trying to not laugh. There's that thing they teach you at school.
No.
No, chow, no.
That is actually a Cantonese word, which means free spirit. Chandor. Don't do the face.
What face?
You went that.
That's because me genuinely trying to...
God, he wasn't even pulling a face.
Oh, hello, mate. All right, check this out. You'll love this. Come have a look. You type in 58,008 into a calculator. Turn it upside down.
It is funny.
Turn it upside down. Boobs. It's worth making it up. All right, mate. Come and check this out. I typed in 58,008. All right, mate. Check this out. I just typed in 50. Fuck me. Sorry, this is absolutely outrageous, guys. We're two absolute professionals.
Okay.
All right, mate. Just check this out. I just typed in 58,008, and amazingly. All right, mate. Just check this out. All right, mate. Just check this out. I just typed in.
Just check this out.
Turn it upside down. Just typed in 58,008. All right, mate. Just check this out.
I can hear you go.
All right, mate. Check this out.
I've just typed in 58,008. Turn it upside down. Boobs. Let's just keep going from there.
20 million? 40. Double it. That's right. Plus 6. 46. 3 days. 75 days. Biggest Christmas day ever.
Bye, nerd.
Oh! I'm a nerd?
Just pick it up.
I'm a nerd. I've kissed Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore. I'm a nerd. I've slapped Jennifer Aniston. Anyway. Who are you?
Nobody, but
Who?
Nobody.
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 Nobody, but...
Who are you?
Okay.
Who are you?
Okay.
Who are you?
Okay.
You're aware that I'm gay?
Not that... We don't make a song and dance about it, you know. I don't... No, it didn't matter. Didn't... Well, no, you didn't... And you don't make a song and dance, but you don't go... Ooh, hello, I didn't... No, not relevant.
You're aware that I'm gay?
No, because you don't make a song and dance about it. You're not all like... No, you didn't. Because you don't make a song and dance about it. You're not all...
Fucking hell!
No. Because you don't make a song and dance about it. You're not all... Ooh, hello, I'm homosexual. No, because we don't make a song and dance about it. You're not all... Okay. Okay, no, okay. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Oh.
You're aware that I'm gay? You're aware that I'm gay?
Because you don't make a song and dance about it. You're not all...
Hello, everyone. Wow, look at me. What I'm doing.
This time. Okay. Come on.
You're aware that I'm gay?
Not a problem.
You're aware that I'm gay? You're aware that I'm gay?
No, because you don't wear it on your... It's not like you're going around, oh, everyone, oh, look, can you guess? No, I don't.
I can't marry her.
Why? What do you know?
Nothing, what do you mean?
No, what did you...
No, I've just been doing a lot of thinking,
Oh.
and I just don't think...
Just hold for a second.
Oh, I've been in that lamp so long, I'm bent out of all recognition.
Who are you?
Well, I'll be whoever you want me to be, but you can call me Jeannie.
How does somebody as big as you fit into this tiny lamp?
Don't worry, I'm used to squeezing myself into tight holes.
Can you help us? We're in danger. We heard him say he wants to get Aladdin.
Don't we all?
That's mental! That's mental!
We asked 100 people, will Les Dennis ever hang onto a bird? Our survey said... We asked 100 people, will Les Dennis ever hang onto a bird? Our survey said... We asked 100 people, do you want to go out tonight and see Les Dennis in Panto? Our survey said...
How mad is that?
Oh, look at this website about...
I mean, would this have been funny? Him going through customs. I have nothing to declare but my genius.
Oh, and this vibrating tongue for pleasuring. Oh, and this vibrating tongue for pleasuring fannies. Oh, is that funny?
Well, again, when you do it, it's got a certain sum up, but it's Sunday, so let's just keep the fannies down to a minimum. All clothes fall off?
Yeah.
they fall off onto the ground, and she's scrabbling to get them back on again. But before she can get her knickers on, they fall off completely. She's scrabbling around to get them back on, but before she can get her knickers on.
What's yours about? Do you mind me asking?
Well, it's how best to explain it. You've seen me in X-Men.
I'm so sorry, Patrick. I can just think of it coming. I'm so sorry.
She's scrabbling around to get them back on, but before she can get her knickers on, I'm walking along the street and I see this beautiful girl, and I think I'd like to see her naked. And
I'm so sorry, Patrick. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do other than leave the scene and let you talk to a teddy bear.
No, you see, I can do other stuff as well. For instance, I'm riding my bike in the park, and this policewoman says...
Okay.
She goes, ah! And she's covering herself up. And she's trying to cover herself up. But I've seen everything anyway. And I get back on my bike, and I ride off on the grass.
Okay, so it's you going around sort of seeing tits and stuff.
Ask me again.
Okay.
And I score the winning goal, and they carry me into the dressing room, and there's Rooney and Beckham, and then Posh Spice walks in, and...
Her clothes fall off?
Instantly.
I thought I got away with it! I tried to look over there!
Well, what about this? I'm a sort of James Bond figure, and I have to go to Iraq to rescue some hostages. And I get there, and they're all women, and they're naked because their clothes have all rotted away.
Sure.
Well, what about this? I'm a sort of James Bond figure, and I have to go to Iraq to rescue these hostages. And I get there, and they're all women, and they're naked because their clothes have rotted off. And I rescue them anyway, and I get them into the helicopter. I rescue them anyway. I get them into the helicopter, and even though I'm flying the helicopter, I can sneak a look in the mirror, and I can see them, you see. And one of them is bending over. You see,
Ridiculous.
Morning, campers.
I don't get it.
I'm not even watching.
I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it.
You don't get it. I've been without a man so long.
I don't get it.
You don't. You don't get it. I've been without a man so long, I think I'd say yes if Ray asked.
I'm not coming into that.
You got my pen?
Yes, take it. Oh, it's in here.
I didn't know. We having a wank? Yeah.
It's all over the place. Let's go again. I'm so sorry.
We having a wank? You got my pen?
Yes, take your pen, please.
We having a wank? You got my pen?
Yes, take it.
All right. We're having a wank.
Right.
Hello.
Were you masturbating? Ask me again. Oh. Were you masturbating? Were you masturbating before I came in then? Were you masturbating?
God almighty. I was 1 second away there. I was 1 second away.
Well, I should have locked the door, but I didn't think ahead, and the moment took me, and I just went berserk.
This is what I'm talking about.
We haven't talked about this.
No, I didn't think I had to.
No.
But can you look me in the eye?
Almost certainly not.
Never. Until today. Wizard. Wizard.
Okay.
You cannot have the script. You'll learn the words, and you will speak them as if you were saying them for the very first time.
Yeah.
And you were
Shit.
bollocks.
Sometimes. I don't know who's talking. Sometimes.
Women have fannies. Pop knobbing fanny.
Oh God! You fucking! Oh God! You don't know how hard that is, Steve.
Well, I was losing it here.
Don't bite me! I defy anyone. Just sit there.
Pop knob. In fanny. Pop. Men have knobs. Women have fannies. A man has a knob. Pop knob in fanny.
Bastard! Okay.
Pop knob in fanny. Not up your arse.
Straight at the camera.
What could be more normal than shoving your cock up a man's arse?
Okay.
Okay.
Just keep jiggling. Okay.
Jiggers plays cock.
6581, AMD cameras.
No. Come in. Hello. Hi. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, that's doing so well.
Mum.
Close his eyes like it's the most important piece of evidence acted.
Oh, okay. Come in.
Hello.
Hi. What seems to be the problem?
As I said before, I've got full-blown AIDS.
We're never going to get that. Let's do this. Oh.
Under strengths, you've put accounts.
Yeah.
That isn't that's your job though, isn't it? That's sort of what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go again.
Under weaknesses, you've put eczema.
Yeah, on my feet.
Under weaknesses, you've put eczema.
I'm on the edge all the time.
Do you remember the question?
No.
Okay. We're going to leave that there.
Oh, is there?
Oh, it's there.
Who says famine? That's to be depressing. That's not.
probably wondering why I'm so generous with my encouragement. Yeah. It's just that trust people and they will be true to you. Treat them greatly and they will show themselves to be great. So, happier now? No looking back?
Yeah, well, I'm still eventually.
Take 5.
And action.
Tim.
Take 6. Take
Absolutely
7.
fine.
Take 8. Take 9. Take 10.
Action.
Oh, David. Hey.
Take 11.
Trust, encouragement, reward.
I'm gonna...
Take 12 after false start. Take 13. Take 14.
Okay, let's do this.
Take 15. Take 16.
There's no way that can't be funny to me, though. The Canterbury Tales of Chaucer and... it can't not be funny. It's...
Oh, God! Probably wondering why I am so... Oh, that was closer!
48, take
I
17.
literally don't know what to do.
You're probably wondering why I am so... encouraging.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Take 18.
Trust people, and they will be true to you. Treat them... much further. Getting a little bit further every time.
Take 148, take 19. Take 20.
Okay.
Take 21. Take
Just
22.
doing
23.
Yeah.
24. 25.
Take 25. Oh, fucking hell. Come on, Martin. Here we go. Fucking take 25. Oh, embarrassing. Right, here we go. Cut. Jennifer not with you?
No, she's on her way.
Monkey!
Patrick, if you can't roll with that kind of punch, you know
What?
Oh, God. He looked at it so intently for a few seconds. He really had a go. Okay.
Did have a go.
So, now he knows what's going to happen. Should we get him into a better position, though, so we can see his face as well, Steve? But, you know, we're in our 30s.
And I'm only just 30. What, are you 39?
Both in our 30s, yeah? Both in our 30s.
Yeah.
As I said, you know, and I'm saying that, you know, keep your head down, and who knows, in a few years' time...
That is ridiculous.
And who's to say that you keep your head down, in a few years' time, you won't be...
God! You must know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You must know.
Yeah.
But that's never happened before.
Okay, just once.
That's enough.
Okay. Okay.
Can I ask?
Right.
And I never will ask you this again.
Right.
What are you going to do this time?
Okay. That. Just that.
That.
Yeah. And who's to say, in a few years' time, if you keep your head down, you won't be in the hot... Keep your head down. Yeah. In a few years, you could be in the hot seat. Keep your head down, and in a few years' time, you're in the hot seat. Like me. And who knows? Keep your head down, you could be in the hot seat like me. If you want the rainbow, you've got to put up with the rain. And do you know which philosopher said that? Dolly Parton. And people say she's just a big pair of tits. Oh, God.